Hi, I'm in conversation with Mr. Siddharth Anand Kumar, who's the Vice President, Films and Events at SareGama India. And he's going to talk to us about the films that they have backed and supported. A lot of them are regional films, and I want to know the impact of regional cinema in India today, which is, of course, you have mainstream cinema, but you also have a lot of regional voices coming up, and you've supported it in a big way. So tell me about that market and the reach of that market.
Yeah, well, regional cinema is mass cinema for the region it is made in.
Yeah.
And these films are very, very closely linked to the culture and the aspirations of the people in the region.
Right.
We've noticed all over in different mediums across India that the vernacular language is becoming more and more important. I think this is a factor where people are now starting to shed some of that post-colonial hangover.
Yeah.
And there's an increasing acceptance of one's own identity. Right. Not that this hasn't been happening earlier, but I feel it's accelerating.
Yes.
So regional cinema has always had a very strong base with its particular region. Right. What we've started noticing after COVID is that a lot of other audiences, so audiences not from the region who do not speak in the vernacular, are also getting attracted to this cinema.
Yes.
Our ability to dub and subtitle has increased exponentially.
Yes.
So, we are getting better and better films, and we've had a lot of breakouts even on the theatrical windows with regional cinema. And if we wonder why that is, I think it is because regional cinemas by nature have always been more rooted in the specific identity of the culture. Yes. And that is something that audiences seem to be responding to very well now.
Yeah, beautifully, because Bahubali being an example, Kantara being an example, there are so many examples. And now we have the Oscar entry, which is again a Malayalam film, which is, going to the Oscars 2018. So the fact that voices from India across the hinterlands, across different regionalities, and now become one India. So we no longer state bound in terms of content, saying that, okay, this is a North Indian film or this is a South Indian film. It's an Indian film. So how do you see that beautiful thing come about?
Yeah, it's happening around us. We are very, very pleased to be participating in it.
Yeah.
It's a bit odd as a running a studio as part of a major music label in Bombay. Everyone almost is Hindi or an English speaker, but we managed to find a way to collaborate with filmmakers, give them their freedom and independence, and yet bring some sort of let's say more corporate systems and structures in place, whether it concerns profit sharing with our producing partners and our talent, or it is about how we're looking at budgets or how we're bringing in economies of scale. So we're very happy to be able to participate in this, what you're saying, greater acceptance of regional cinema.
Also the fact that today mainstream films, we had Jawan, which is example, which is such a hugely, and even the star cast is so, mixed in terms of a superstar, and then you have somebody from the South and creating magic, and then acceptance across. So I believe that today we can truly say that, of course, with all the production houses thinking alike in this way, that we are totally an Indian, and I'm talking about people from outside India. When they look at Indian cinema, you have to explain to a foreigner, saying that, no, we are not just Bollywood, we also have different film industries. And now they're all coming together. And thanks to OTT, a lot of consumption of content across languages have also been one of the reasons that this has happened. I watched Agra. What a beautiful film it is. And you backed it. I watched it. I'll tell you how I watched it. But yes, I watched it. But it is fabulous. And I also know one of the writers. I interviewed her recently, Atika Chauhan. What a story, and what an interesting story to tell to the world. And again, it doesn't come from a metropolitan city. It comes from a small part of India. But the resonance that it has had, the content has been appreciated across the world. And and tell me about it. You decided to back a film like Agra, which is again in a space which is not typically conventional. It talks about sexual repression in a smaller city. So tell me about that story, and how did you decide to back it and decide that, okay, this is something that we'll be part of?
So we have been backing indie cinema in Hindi for a very long time. from 2017. Backed a film called Ajji, which was also, highly independent artistic film about a grandmother's revenge. We backed a film, Hamid. We had 2 national awards on that film, which was a film about a boy in Kashmir looking for his father who's disappeared. We backed a very small Tamil film called KD, which is about an 80-year-old man who becomes friends with an 80-year-old boy, and they go out to fulfill his bucket list. So we've had a certain degree of experience in what you can call the indie film or the festival film. What we look for when we are looking to back a festival film, more than just the financial part, we look to see if the director has a very, very unique vision or viewpoint, which they'd be able to express in the film. And we try and ensure that the film has a very strong thematic, so that it has something very clear that it says. Because see, very often these films such as Agra, which you've seen, they're not overtly entertaining. So we don't wear the same thinking cap as when we are evaluating some of our regional cinema, which is going to go theatrical. We want to make sure that there's a clear takeaway for the audience in terms of messaging, like you correctly picked up, sexual repression. I would even say Agra almost argues that sex can set you free in a way as well. Because it ultimately becomes the answer to a lot of the problems that the characters are facing.
Also, it also talks about space in general, very figuratively, physical space and space in your head. So it has a lot of layers where it talks about, and if it's got resonance across the world, in audiences across the world, so definitely it was hitting at a right, it hit the right nerve. So
yeah, we have a very talented filmmaker. Kanu Atika is a great writer.
I
think the team on that film, even our DOP, very, very good team, very dedicated. And when making indie cinema, which probably won't go to the box office in a large, then you need to make sure that you're making something that will endure over time. We are a IP company. We believe in the value of IP. We've seen that play out over more than 100 years of existence. So these are the films that we believe will have a long tail and will continue to make us proud over the years.
Okay. Also, the fact that you're also through this. Tell me about Kasargold. I think it's a Malayalam film. And tell me about Kasargold. Again, it's named after a place in Kerala. So
yes, it's named after Kasargold. So it's actually a play on, the word Kasargold, which is often gets spoken down as a region to being a crime-infested space where a lot of drug smuggling and gold smuggling happens. So the film is also it's a caper film in the vein of Quentin Tarantino. I know our director Mridul has been very influenced by Tarantino there. Particularly he made a film called Jackie Brown. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a wonderful movie. It was his second film, follow-up to Pulp Fiction. So it's a cast of crazy characters trying a heist, and the cops on their trail, and the sort of mad violence that can happen. In many ways, it's a very massy sort of leave your brain at home kind of movie. Not so in Malayalam cinema also, though they have a lot of very, very sophisticated filmmaking, there's also a great genre of very massy films that cater to the youth. Asif is also a very young star. Star is just about starting to shine. So it's got this sort of youthful, frenetic energy to it.
And Tovino, another rising star from Kerala. Of course, he's a well-known actor. Tovino Thomas.
Tovino's done very well, I think. Tovino, in fact, our next Malayalam film is with Tovino. So
Tovino is one of his films. He was probably the first Malayalam superhero as well. When he did Minnal Murali, that film. So interesting that so many things are explored. Also, tell me about the other films and web series that you're supporting, and why do you support the ones that you do, and what is the what piques your interest, and why do you put all your might behind it?
We're not doing as many web series as I'd like, and it's simply because we all only have 24 hours a day. And as a company, we believe in retaining the IP of the work we do. It's becoming increasingly hard when it comes to OTT platforms. OTT platforms also desire to control the IP.
Right.
So we've done few far between. The last show that we did on OTT was something called Hunter, which was with Sunil Shetty. It is a show on Amazon Mini, and it's in the vein of Liam Neeson's and Denzel Washington's genre, where there's a angry man who is a man of violence, and he's called upon for a task, and how he fulfills that task. So for us, it was a lot of fun to make something which is a true genre piece in that sense, with a great genre actor. I mean, I think Sunil Shetty is one of our great genre actors. He's excelled in action as much as in comedy. So here we have explored his action side. Pretty amazing to see the guy, his fitness at his age or at any age. I mean, a 20-year-old having that level.
Absolutely.
And, to be doing stunts 12 hours a day on a dirty floor, on your back, getting scraped, getting bruised, and fighting it out with trained fighters. We had these Ukrainian stuntmen. So a real respect for Anna, what he can do in terms of that. And I think our directors, we had two directors, Alok and Prince, who are young directors. They also brought a very, very interesting noir visual style to that show. So that's something I'm very proud of.
United Kachi, I think I remember interviewing Sunil Grover.
Yes.
So that was fun as well. I watched it too. It was funny. It had the immigrant experience. It had, the right, and the fact that it spoke about different nationalities living together in a foreign country. And Kache itself is the word which was, which is very colloquially used for what do you call them? Illegal immigrants, probably.
Illegal.
Again, another topic to actually, especially people who live outside the country, they resonate very well with the diaspora stories. So again, backing a film like that, and Sunil, again, one of our finest actors that we have today. So
absolutely.
So you have a good
actually Kache came out of our exposure to Punjabi cinema, and we're doing a fair amount of direct to theater Punjabi cinema.
Right.
And as you're exposed to that culture, you realize that if you speak to someone from there who is sort of socially aware, one of the main areas of concern is that there are many villages in Punjab, apparently, not that I know this anecdotally, but where there are no young people left because everyone's migrated. So,
yes.
Yeah, so it was earlier called...
Sorry.
It was earlier called Kache Canada Wale, but very interestingly, we could not get enough visas for Canada to shoot it in Canada, so it became
so United UK ho gaya. Okay.
Yeah, United Kache wo ho gaya. But again, the insight was that this is an area of concern for the region, and can we tell a more mainstream sort of comical sitcom? It's supposed to be a sitcom.
Right.
So can we build a sitcom which would be around a more serious issue and do it in a funny way? Then, of course, a lot of us have grown up watching BBC's Mind Your Language and those kind of fun shows.
Yes.
Definitely inspired from that. A lot of humor around accents and what do Indians think of Pakistanis and Pakistanis think of Indians.
And
things that appeal to the diaspora. Yeah, because once you live abroad, then everybody becomes a desi. Then you're no longer
you're known by your
Indian,
skin.
Pakistani, or
it's your skin color, which people say, okay, this is desi and this is not desi. Gore alag. It's very clear. I mean, living outside, I mean, I live here for the last 18 years, so I know there is a very clear distinction. We all become one. There is a lot of oneness because your immigrant experience is similar. Also, the fact that a few days ago, I saw, there was this 3-4 days ago, I think there was a Punjabi film that had a press con in Dubai. I think it was called Moja or something. So Moja. So I'm sure a lot of independent, not just independent, but a lot of Punjabi cinemas also gaining. I mean, you wouldn't usually see a press conference of a Punjabi film outside in Dubai very regularly, but it's happening.
Yeah.
And that's a good...
No, it's happening. I think Punjabi cinema is really on an upswing, and I'll give a lot of credit for that to Gippy. Because, what Gippy's done very interestingly, I think, is build franchises in Punjabi cinema.
Right.
So now Mauja is a franchise film. He did Carry On Jatta 3, which is the third part of his franchise.
Which was so hugely popular,
massively popular. We are producing Warning 2 with Gippy.
Okay.
Right. So these films seem to do very well. Again, I think Punjabi is a very specific culture. It's a culture that's been adopted by mainstream India to a large degree because a lot of our early filmmakers were from Punjab. So it translates very well into Hindi audiences as well. And this is one of the main reasons why we are participating in Punjabi cinema, because we truly believe that it is poised for a breakout. It's starting to break out already. We started making Punjabi films 2 years ago. So, at that time, they were not really breaking out. But this, again, Gippy pushing his film hard with marketing muscle, doing a press conference in Dubai, where there's a large Punjabi-speaking community.
Yes, absolutely.
These are very smart ways of increasing the business of cinema also.
Dubai has a film festival now. It's going to start from the 9th to the 12th of November. Some very good cinema happening there. So a lot of good films are coming, and this is called the Meta Film Festival Dubai from 9th to the 12th. It's going to happen every year. This is the second edition of the festival. A good deal of cinema coming from across the world, supported, and the whole idea is this explosion of content. And when I sit with people who are from Iranian filmmakers or people from other places, I consult for the festival. So suddenly they recognize this actor who probably, a lot of, I'm not talking about mainstream big actors who everybody knows. Somebody who only Indians probably would know is a famous face. There are people outside who look at them and say, yes, I've seen his film. This is a very good actor. And so that kind of an understanding is great to know, because you guys support that kind of cinema. So it comes out in the open, and then, So what plans now? What is the next set of films that we'll watch, or content that we are going to watch?
So we've announced one of the biggest films that we've ever made is going to release Jan 25th. It's called Malay Koti Valiban. It's a Mohanlal film that is directed by Lijo Pellissieri, who's, I would say, one of the very, very unique voices in terms of writing and directing in Kerala.
Lovely.
His films have always got a very, very interesting style. Till now, he has not really done a very massy film. And this is in the vein of my favorite director, Sergio Leone, the film he's made. It's very much like, one wrestler, tough guy on a mission, sort of fantastical era, which is not committed to as an era. So, we don't have the encumbrances of saying this is how it was or this is how it was. So very interesting film. That's next. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a Tovino film. Is coming. The name of it I'll fail to pronounce, so we call it AK. It's a murder mystery, again, genre that works very well with Malayali audiences.
Yes.
Have a large number.
Drishyam being a prime example of.
Drishyam is the main example, but you've had many examples. You had Forensic, which was remade with Vikrant Massey, which was a Tovino film. Again, did very well. So I think Malayali audiences have always responded to that detective thriller kind of.
Yes. And it's a more cerebral, responding cerebrally audience, right? It's also of the education of the state, and I mean a lot of things dependent on the response of the audiences as well. But that sounds
we have a Punjabi film we've announced. It's going to come out on March 1st. So in the Punjab market, you don't really release films in the dead of winter, because a lot of the money comes from territories like Canada, where cinemas actually go down in the winter period.
Right.
We have a very interesting film. It's a part 2 again of a film that did very well last year called Nime Saskutni, which means I'll beat my saas. So it's basically a saas bahu war told in a comic fashion. In this part, the saas and the bahu are standing opposite each other in the panchayat elections.
Oh, lovely. What a lovely idea. Fabulous.
So it's just mad fun. Like, eventually the saas conspires to kill the bahu, and then what all, and all it is told in just a hilarious manner.
Okay.
So we are doing a wide range of regional content in that sense. I mean, other than the development slate, which I can't talk about right now, which is also quite exciting. But these are the films that we already have announced. Eventually, we will scale up to more than 10 films a year. We're currently at the 6-7 film a year range.
Okay.
So hopefully next year we'll have an even larger slate to talk about.
Great. Thank you very much for speaking to me. It was lovely, and I'm sure, like Agra, a lot of films, very interesting films, should be coming out of your kitty. So thank you.
They will.
And,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
All right. Bye.